Hello, Class 7. Welcome back to the last session of Chapter 2 Geography Inside Our Earth. I'm hoping that you've covered the previous two sessions. Please do remember to check the description of the previous videos for some exercise questions. So, today we will cover rock cycle and what are the uses of rocks. Let us see what can change a rock. Rock doesn't last forever. Over time, rock changes their size, color, and texture. Let's find out what can change a rock. Well, did you ever saw a tree growing out of a solid rock? Plants can change rocks. Sometimes soil will get into cracks in the rock and plants will start to grow. The roots push against the rock, and if the plant grows large enough, it can break the rock. Some animals can change rocks too by digging tunnels in the ground. As they dig, they loosen the rocks and the soil with it, allowing water to move in. People change rocks too. People dig tunnels, build road and cut out rocks to build buildings and statues too. People can change rocks very quickly with the help of the machines. But in nature, changes happen so slowly that we cannot detect them. But over a very long period of time, rocks break into smaller parts. That's why you see a sign like this on the roads warning about the falling rocks. Breaking rocks down into smaller pieces is called weathering, and it takes place all the time. Weathering is caused by wind, ice, and water. Notice here where the water has worn away the rock. Moving water slowly wears rocks down, especially if it carries sediments. An example of how water can sieve a rock away is the Grand Canyon. It is over 1 mile deep and 11 miles wide, and it was carved by the Colorado River. Rocks are also weathered by a large amount of ice called the glaciers. As they move, they scratch and polish the surface of rock. Glaciers also move the rock and drop them along their path. Here are some rocks that had been scratched by the glaciers. Winds also weathers rock. Wind picks up and carries dust and sand, scratch rocks and slowly withers them away. Sometimes wind weathers rocks into unusual shapes. Erosion. It is the process by which wind and water wears away the rock. When the rocks are eroded, the final result is a very small particle, which we call the soil. Soil is typically the topmost layer of the earth's rock. And soil differs from one place to place. There are three types of soil: loam, sand, and clay. Now that we know what is weathering and erosion, let's move ahead to the rock cycle. The rocks are always changing from one kind of rock to a different type of rock. We call this changing of rocks the rock cycle. It is the process of transformation of rock from one to another under certain conditions in a cyclic manner. Let us understand how this change is taking place. Let's begin with the igneous rocks. Weathering breaks down igneous rocks into small particles. Sediments are formed and pressed together to become the sedimentary rocks. Some igneous rock are very deep in the earth, where the heat and pressure changes the rock into metamorphic rocks. Over time, these metamorphic rocks are changed by weathering into sediments, and hence metamorphic rocks becomes the sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary and metamorphic rocks deep inside the earth is molten into magma, which later crystallizes to form igneous rock or to the other metamorphic rock because of the heat and the pressure. And that is how the rock cycle is taking place. There are lots of things that affect the cycle: wind, temperature, water, ice and glaciers all causes the changes. It's the reason why landscape all over the world looks so different. It is the reason some places are mountainous and other places are deserts. Why some places are great for growing crops and others are rich in trees and woodlands. When you think about it, the rocks, minerals, and soil found in any place on earth can tell you a story of that place. For example, when you see the Grand Canyon, you know that rock has been eroded by the water from the Colorado River. When you see a rock in the wood, You can probably say that it was left behind by a glacier. Sand on the beaches comes from a constant weathering by the ocean on the igneous rock. That igneous rock was formed by volcanic eruption long time back. Now that you know about the rocks, take a look around the rocks where you live or to where you have traveled. Can you uncover their story? After all, they all have one. Moving to the last topic of the chapter, that is uses of rock. Rocks are everywhere on earth, and people have been using rocks to build things for thousands of years. The Egyptians used these rocks to make pyramids. Stonehenge in England are made up of giant-sized rocks. The Great Wall of China is another example of the same. The ancient Greeks made temples out of the rocks. And for centuries throughout the world, rocks are made to carve statues and monuments and other works of art. Today, some of the tallest buildings in the world are made up of rocks. In India itself, innumerable temples, forts, and places of ancient Indian civilization have been carved out of the available rock. For instance, Taj Mahal from the white marble, Red Fort from red sandstone, and Ajanta and Ellora caves from basalt rock. Cave 16, also known as the Kailash Temple, is the largest rock cut Hindu temple of the Ellora cave. Carved from a single rock, it is considered one of the most remarkable caves in the world because of its size, architecture, and sculptural treatment. Today, the modern day homes are also made from the rocks available around us, mainly from earth and mud blocks and concrete, which is also derived from different types of stones. Thank you for joining today's session. We'll see you in the next chapter. Take care. Bye bye.